Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to have some Division 8 online ranked gameplay using none other than Khamzat Chimaev, and if you look on the left now you want to see the last 10 fights I've had. Out of the 10, 9 people have rage quit. That's what the DNF stands for, did not finish, and I quickly want to address this because my past 20 fights, I think, or over 20 fights, majority of them have all been rage quits. I'm not getting any points for it, and they're all against people in higher divisions, so in theory I should be getting a lot of points and moving up the division easier, but because these people are using this exploit and quitting, obviously it doesn't benefit them really in any way, but it therefore doesn't benefit me at all. So I don't know what EA are doing, but they need to do something to fix this, because it's extremely annoying when you're trying to go up the divisions and consistently people are rage quitting against you when you're dominating. And I think out of the 10, 8 of those fights is me trying to get gameplay using Khamzat. And I don't like uploading gameplay when I'm not getting finishes, because, you know, I just think this is not the gameplay you guys want to see. And obviously I'm trying to work real hard to get these videos, and I'm grinding out these fights, and Friday I'm like, oh, okay, I'm having a really good fight, I can't wait to upload this, and then the person will rage quit, and that's it. I won't get any points for it. I'm stuck in Division 8 for God knows how many fights now, and I just think EA need to do something and address this, because it's making it to the point where you don't even want to play the game really, because I'm not going to level up, so, you know, what's the point? I'm not going to go up the divisions. But yeah, you know, moving on to the gameplay, some more positive things. Using Khamzat again, I haven't used Khamzat in a while, and Khamzat is one of my favourite fighters on this game, because you can just pressure people. People see him, and they just get so scared. Like, they just don't want to fight him. And as you can see here, I'm facing Israel, who's already denied some takedown attempts. Doing a good job with the striking, but obviously I'm just keeping this Izzy on the back foot. I'm not letting Izzy control the centre of the octagon. I'm pushing the pace, and I'm waiting for, you know, I'm timing the takedown. I'm either going to use the cage or I'm going to shoot. As you can see, I do a beautiful job of shooting and turning the takedown, which makes it very hard for my opponent to deny. Only thing is, when, you know, I'm going for these cage takedowns, is that my opponent can use the cage to walk up, and it's a bit easier for him to get out. So I have to be, you know, very careful. I like getting my takedowns in the centre of the octagon, unless it's through the clinch, because that way it's easier to control and dominate. Obviously, when my opponent gets into the sprawl position here, if he does, he can just quickly get up, and sometimes you can't deny the transition. It just pushes you against the fence, and they can just back away, and therefore they control the centre of the octagon. So all these things I'm considering, and as you can see right now, my opponent's just content with me sitting here inside control and just concaving his head. So we get here, it's crucifix, we get the denial. And once you get this denial, which is, you know, it's hard for the opponent to get out, but as you can see there, my opponent does a great job of getting out, but we're persistent. You know, we just want to smash people, we just want to maul people. That's what Khamzat's here for. Khamzat's not here in none of these games, he's not here to do anything else. He's here to just simply destroy these other players, and as you can see, we do just that. So we jump straight on into the next gameplay against the Rob Whittaker, who I feel is like a very versatile fighter. Rob Whittaker, amazing fighter in real life, and he's equally good in the game. I think he's the best fighter to use in the game, and using Khamzat, this is a very hard matchup, because obviously Rob Whittaker is very good on the feet, very good anti-wrestler, very good wrestler in general, so got to be very careful here. And as you can see, I'm working the body where I can. I'm trying to not shy away from the stand-up. I don't want my opponent to just have a feeling that, you know, I can just dominate the stand-up when I want. And as you can see, even though I pushed my opponent towards the fence initially, I didn't go for the clinch straight away, because I was expecting the head movement. So we work my opponent against the cage, and then we take my opponent's back. And here is where Khamzat really shines. You know, here I'm looking to deny, and as you can see, I don't go for the cheesy submission. You know, I'm just here to, I don't really like using that submission, the rear naked choke, just because of how powerful it is. Obviously, yes, it makes sense why it's so powerful, but, you know, I feel like it's a bit cheesy. So here, as you can see, I'm just denying, getting to top mount, and when I'm using Khamzat, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm here to smash you. I'm here to do exactly what he does in real life. Obviously, maybe not as quick as he does it in real life, because, you know, he dominates these guys and gets them out there pretty quickly. It's a bit hard on the game, and I think once he starts fighting, you know, the higher caliber of opponents, it'll take him longer to get these fighters out. I mean, one thing with Khamzat is, on the game, you can fight so aggressively with him, because people just see him and it's like they know what he can do, and they're so scared of him. It's different when you're using another wrestler or a submission artist. It's literally the same thing when I use Habib online. When I use Habib, you can see it in the way people fight. They're scared, and it's the same thing with Khamzat here. So as you can see, I'm just looking to get these denials off, and I'm literally just looking to roll with my opponent. I'm looking to get my control time up. I'm having great success at the moment, as you can see, where I can, getting into crucifix where possible, and again I'm just dominating. We've had a very, very solid round one, and you know, I could look to get my opponent out of here right now, but I could risk my opponent getting up. So I'm just being very calm, very collected. I'm still being aggressive, and as you can see, we're just doing such a beautiful job of not letting my opponent escape, not letting my opponent get to the feet. And that's the key thing when you're using Khamzat. You cannot let your opponent get up, because once you're up, yeah, you know, Khamzat isn't the worst. He's got good hands, he's got some power behind it, but obviously this is exactly where you want the fight to be. And with the way Robert Whittaker's bottom game is, I'm not too worried about being on top and wasting stamina, getting caught in a submission. Hence why I'm being so aggressive, as you've seen in these final 30 seconds here. Really pushing the pace, really trying to build up some damage. And I'm just trying to smash him. And I know that realistically, just because how tough Rob Whittaker is, I'm probably not going to get him out of here this round. But I'm certainly going to do my best to build up that damage. And it will just look good for the judges, you know. It's a very extremely dominant round. Arguably a 10-8. And my opponent just has no answer. And this is very demoralising. When you come up against someone, they do this to you. I'm sure it's happened to everyone. It's happened to the best of us. It's happened to me in the past. It's so frustrating to play against. As you can see the stats there, outstruck my opponent by a large amount of strikes. So coming into round two, we're looking to do more of the same here. We're going to get my opponent to the ground. If we have to use the cage, we'll use the cage. But we'll figure out a way to get my opponent there. Once my opponent's on the ground, you know, that's it. And one thing I noticed, that my opponent throws a lot of hooks, and you'll see later on in this fight that I'll make a very big mistake, and yeah, I end up paying for it in the next round. As you can see, I'm just using beautiful head movement here. We dodged that massive overhand coming in, and again, I'm striking when I have to strike, but I'm being smart with the things I throw, because Rob's got the huge power advantage, and Rob's got the technical advantage as well. The stand-up's just different level to Khamzat's. And as you can see, my opponent's trying to pressure me now, and that's fine with me. We tried to get in the clinch there, it doesn't work. As you see, my opponent's being very aggressive, and this is what you can expect when you absolutely smash someone in round one. They're going to come out of round two, either play very passive or fight like they've got a point to prove, and that's exactly what my opponent's doing here. So we end up getting my opponent down, and it's a position over submission here. So I'm constantly looking to try to get into half guard and then side control, because I feel like side control is the most dominant position. And again, when I can posture up, I will, just to hurt my opponent's block a bit and decrease my opponent's head health. And I'm okay. I'm content being in Rob Whittaker's full guard, just because I know the submission threat isn't too high. If I was facing someone like a Jacare Souza, then I have to be a bit more careful, a bit of a Damien Maia. As you can see, I'm waiting for my opponent's stamina to go down, and then I'm using that to my advantage and moving over to a more advantageous position. So we moved over from half guard to side control, and again from side controls here is where we can really do work. And I forgot that Rob has the get up animation from here, and I forgot to deny it, so that's just a great job from my opponent there. Sloppy from me, because, you know, obviously no, Rob has that. I've been denying it in round one, but it slipped my mind there. And as you can see now, we've got to the feet. My opponent's going to be aggressive, but we're going to look to take my opponent straight down. There's a beautiful knee there. Khamzat's got really good knees. And as you can see here, shoot for the takedown, well timed, under my opponent's lead jab. And there you go. We've got my opponent back onto the ground, more so in the centre of the octagon, pushing towards the fence now. And again, getting on top, and I'm just looking to do some damage here, because my opponent's had more of a success this round due to the fact that he's kept the fight standing up a little bit longer. Obviously, yes, the round's still going to go to me, but I want it to be decisive victory, especially when using Khamzat, because he's just been so dominant in real life here. I feel like it's doing an injustice to him if I'm not dominating these fights here. So As you can see, when I am posturing up, I'm being very, very aggressive, and if you've watched a lot of my content, you know this isn't very like me. I'm more of a submission guy. I'll wait for my chances. I don't often throw a lot of strikes, but when you use Khamzat, it's just, you know, it's what you've got to do really, isn't it? Because that's exactly what he does in real life. So I'm mixing it up here. Try not to be too predictable with my punches so my opponent can't sway anything. And that's the main thing. There's nothing wrong with posturing up and throwing loads of strikes as long as you're not being predictable with it, because as soon as you start getting predictable with it, that's when the problems, you know, start to arise, and then your opponent can get out or catch your punch, and then you end up in the worst position. So you've just got to be really smart of how you throw your strikes. As you can see there, I was really, really trying to mix it up. And so into this third round, you know, I've dominated round 1 and 2. As long as I make no mistakes here, no slip-ups, I should be fine, and you'll see what happens here. So I rock my opponent, go for the takedown and miss. As you can see, beautiful, beautiful head movement, and the problem with head movement is sometimes it can get you in trouble. And as you can see, my stamina's low here. Bang, I sway, clips me beautifully, and now, yeah, it was a flash knockdown, so I'm not too worried. He hasn't done too much damage to my head. I've just got to be careful now, because that's going to give my opponent some confidence. And when my opponent done this, I was so angry, because it was such a good fight, and I was like, no, I'm going to get you on the ground now, and I'm going to look to brutalise you. I'm going to look to finish you, because there's no way I'm letting this go to decision. Had he not have knocked me down, maybe he would have survived until a decision, but I was really looking to battle my opponent now. And another thing that obviously I could have showcased here is that Khamzat actually has decent submissions. They're not the greatest, and obviously where in real life he just, you know, puts these people out by ground and pound. That's exactly what I was trying to, you know, do here. I'll try and make realistic fighter showcases, so that's why sometimes you see when my opponent has no stamina, I was avoiding going for these submissions, because like I said, I'm really just here to smash this guy. I'm really just here to bully him, and I think I've done a good job in this showcase of showing what he does in real life. I'll be interested to see how, you know, in the future when he fights these ranked guys, how he does. I would love to see him fight Leon Edwards. I think that would have been a great fight, just because how skilled Leon is. But yeah, as you can see, my opponent, when I get him to the ground, he really does struggle to get up. Obviously, he got up, I believe, twice in round 2, but wasn't able to do much when he got up. And as you can see, my opponent's head health is getting low. My opponent's block's low, and as you can see, my deniers have just been very, very good. And rolling into the next transition, just all being very fluid. And that's one thing, once you start being very fluid with a wrestler, it's going to become very problematic for your opponent. And again, look, I'm getting these deniers. It must be extremely inconvenient and annoying for my opponent. I'm remaining relaxed, and I'm just doing a good job here, you know. I'm just using my head. I'm thinking, okay, where's my opponent going to go? I'm waiting for my opponent to transition, and he's transitioning now, no stamina. It's going to be even harder to get out. And I know the fight's going to be over soon just because of head health. So knee on belly here, and we just smash and look for the finish, and we end up getting it. So 2 very brutal victories. It's a shame because I had loads more gameplay, but a lot of it was just rage quits, as I said, which is unfortunate. Hopefully EA fix that issue soon where I can actually start getting points. But yeah, it's a shame it's not a longer video. Like I said, love using Khamzat. One of my favourite fighters to use in both welterweight and middleweight. And if you guys want to see more gameplay of him or any specific gameplay, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for your support. As of lately, I've been getting quite a few subscribers and more comments, and I like interacting with you guys. So as you can see, this is the fight stats here. That's the video for today. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.